Good morning, everyone. It is good to be back here with you folks. And if I can see my writing on the desk, we'll be good. I can't see a thing out of my left eye right now, so. Welcome to our time of worship this morning here at Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. For those that don't know me, my name is Michael Richards, and I'll be leading our time together. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and we are currently, if you aren't aware of it, in the midst of a cold, flu, and COVID season, and we encourage you to visit us online if you're not feeling well. That's what I did for the last 2 weeks following my surgery in my eye, and I enjoyed watching you online and worshiping with you. You can find us on Zoom or on YouTube. And I'd like to just remind you of our safety exits. They're the door you came in to my left. The door right behind, to the right of the room, leads out to the garden, and our exit over here down to the hallway and the education building. Please take the time now to silence your electronic devices. And let us open up our hearts and our minds as we settle into our sacred space. Before we begin our worship time, I invite representatives of committees or groups to come forward to the microphone to my left and briefly share your news with us.
Yay, I get to be first again. Hi, everyone. I'm Reverend Tracie. I am up here to let you know about the UUA Common Read on Repentance and Repair. We'll be starting Thursday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. on Zoom, and it will run for about an hour and a half. We have it booked out for 2 hours on the Zoom because, you know, y'all can be a chatty bunch, but we're going to try to keep it to an hour and a half each time. We only have 5 sessions, even though if you look at the calendar, you'll see 6. That's because we know there will be a council meeting somewhere in there, and we will skip that week for council. So that's why we're scheduled for 6, but it's 5 sessions. If you need a book and have not gotten one yet, we have 10 copies in the office. They're $17. You get a little bit of a discount because we ordered 10. And you can pay cash or check made to UUF, and then I guess Vanco might be able to do something with that. Talk to the treasurer to find that information out, but preferably cash or check probably. And the Zoom link is in the notable news, and we'll make sure it's on the website as well. Thank you.
I'm Ann Packham on behalf of the board. Just a reminder, we do have our quarterly meeting after service today. Hospitality is supplying snacks, so please be expeditious in getting yourself a snack, coffee, whatever, and then returning back to our seats within about 15 minutes of the end of the service. We do have one really important vote today, so please stay. I know everyone wants to get back home for the Super Bowl, even though the Lions are not playing, but but we need everybody to stick around, so please do. And we will have childcare.
Hi, I'm Janet Levins for programs. This is just a reminder that next week after the service, we are having a compassionate communication workshop here from 1 to 4 p.m. And maybe in your life you have someone who just pushes all your buttons. You know, maybe like a family member or a coworker or a neighbor who's just more challenging than they should be. Well, so Tricia Martin is promising fun and relaxing exercises that help us get over knee-jerk reactions to others and help us learn how to connect with compassion. And so far we have 12 people signed up. 6 from our congregation and 6 from First Church, and we have 8 more spaces. So I hope to see, and if you're interested, please talk to me or Martha. Thank you.
Melanie from the finance team. So several days ago, we sent out an email with your contribution statements. If you did not receive yours, check your spam. If you still didn't get it, then let me know, and I will resend it to you or print it out and bring it to you next week.
Hey guys, Derek, Facilities and Grounds. Next Saturday, work day. Fun work day, yeah. So we'll be outside mostly, and I need some folks to help with some. We're gonna do some like ground cover out here in the front, right? Planting, and anybody who's like knows how to take care of flowers and plants. We need to trim the stuff in the memorial garden because it's that time of year, right? So that's it. Bring sharp scissors, that's all I know.
Hi, Lori Hospitality. Just a reminder, the 25th is our next potluck, and it's going to be for our vegetarian and vegan members. So it's a chance to, if you don't cook one of those two, look it up and find something interesting. So, vegetarian means nothing that an animal is killed for. So you can have eggs, milk, cheese, all those things. And vegan means nothing with animal protein or animal product in it at all.
Hi, I'm Ender with the D&D group. Sadly, today D&D has been canceled because our DM is unable to show up, so that's a bit sad.
Good morning, Miguel Rodriguez from SAC. An announcement that we're going to rock the vote, but we're going to call it UU the vote. So be prepared. We're going to post it on the notable news going forward, and I'm just going to read the highlights real quick. But as a UU with deep hope and vast belief in our people and our values, we remain ready. And the work before us requires our compassion, consistency, and commitment. And just as in 2022, again, we are achieving every corner of our faith to engage in the democratic process, because this is an issue on which we can see no ground. And that's true. The Weimar Republic in Germany succumbed to tyranny because of the vote. So the vote is extremely important. All hands on deck this year. We're even going to get the youth. Even if they're minors and can't vote, they'll help us. And we're looking forward to working with them and REC. So thank you.
Hi, I'm not really a committee member, but I'm going to mention that a lot of you read CAST. We read it as a group together. And we're trying to get a group together to go see Origin, which is the new movie that is based on CAST. So if you're interested in that, you can see Lorraine or Martha or me after service, and or Chris, and we're going to try to come up with a date that everybody can make. We want to do it soon before it's not in the theaters anymore.
Thank you, Joey. For my opening words this morning, I have returned to some words by William Sloane Coffin. He says, "Fear destroys intimacy. It distances us from each other or makes us cling to each other, which is the death of freedom. Fear has so many ways to destroy life. Love alone can hold on to and recreate love. Only love can create intimacy and freedom too. For when all hearts are one, nothing else has to be the one. Neither clothes nor age, neither sex nor sexual preference, race nor mindset. If we hate ourselves, we can never love others. For love is the gift of oneself. How will you make a gift of that which you hate?" Our opening music this morning will be sung by the choir and accompanied by Alicia Tran. It is "We Bid You Welcome" by William Gilbert and Jason Shelton. choir. This is a trick when you can only see out of one eye, trying to judge distances. For our lighting of the chalice this morning, we have Chase Paw Patrol coming up to light the chalice. On the case. His pronouns are he, his, and him. He's 13 years of age, and his joy today is he had a new haircut. Hang on. Whoopsies. Here we go.
Do it again.
Trying to make light of things.
Thank you very much. And now if you would join me as we say our words, so the lighting of the chalice, in the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And now join me as we affirm who we are as this group of people here in this place. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. I want to wish a warm welcome to all of you this morning, especially those of you who are here for the first time. We encourage you to visit with us several times before you make up your mind regarding who we are as a congregation. We also welcome those who are joining us today through social media. We are glad to have joined us as well, and please welcome those who are watching us online. We have a minister, the Reverend Dr. Tracie, who speaks with us twice a month. And the remaining Sundays, we have speakers from various fields, from academia, from charitable organizations. We even have members of our own congregation who share with us topics that relate to one or more of our 7 principles. Please take a brief moment now to turn to those near you and welcome them. Hello.
Oh, great, okay. Oh, no, okay, wonderful.
Look at that. Everybody just quiets down nicely. Excellent. Now is our time for joys and concerns. It's a time when we can share briefly our joys and concerns that we have and share them with our church family. Please remember that we are going out over the airwaves, so be careful what you disclose because you're telling it to the whole world. So please come to the microphone if you'd like to share joys or concerns.
Hello, I'm John Amin, and my wife usually does the Zoom from home, so we don't usually come here, but she's doing it from the library today, so we're here today. And I thought I'd use this opportunity to let you know that my daughter, Caroline, I'm very proud of her. She was just accepted into the PhD program at the University of Florida for anthropology and archaeology.
My joy is today, my dad took me to go get a haircut.
Last night, a group of us from the church went to Hamburger Mary's. And oh, we had a good time. And when the MC was saying, is anybody celebrating anything? Marilyn piped up and said, we're a church group. To which the MC said, sinners. sinners? And Marilyn went, no, we're Unitarians. And they said, oh, that's okay. So we had a wonderful time, and at the end, the owner gave us a $50 gift certificate for our first auction bidding thing. So, hey.
My joy is that our son was home for a very brief visit. He and two of his friends entered a competition for a presentation for a stock pitch. It was at the University of Florida. They made the finals, so they were able to come down. They flew into Orlando and then went to Gainesville from here. And my second joy is that they got first place.
A lot of you know this already. I found out yesterday afternoon that my brother passed away yesterday. It was very difficult. I was very, very close to my brother. On the other hand, he had a long life. He lived it well. He married well. She was an amazing woman. And he went peacefully. So I could not ask for more. On that note, however, I will not be here next weekend. The funeral is next Saturday. I won't be here next weekend. So I need somebody to be my backup because I had volunteered to be greeter for the whole month. So if anybody could take next Sunday, please see me after service so that I can be sure that that's covered. And the other thing that is a joy is that the amazing support that I have gotten from this congregation, as always, in the midst of this and what I've been going through with my husband. I don't know what I would do without this community. Thank you all so much.
So, Reverend Tracie again, I have both a concern and a joy. The concern is a couple of weeks ago, Richard's car decided, I guess, to blow a gasket again. We're not sure what's going on with that. So good thoughts for the mechanic that they don't cost a lot. So we're down to one vehicle at the moment. But my joy is I just ordered my graduation announcements and my class ring, and tomorrow I order my regalia, and I graduate May 18th up in Ohio, and it will be live streamed, so I will be sure to give you all that information. It's on a Saturday morning, so you all can be with me in spirit while I'm up there. So that's my joy.
Hi, Chloe Hatfield. I wasn't here last week, and the reason why is what I'm going to tell you about. But this is my joy. I went to MegaCon last week, which was really, really fun. Got to see a lot of people. Got to see some of my forest babies, my petrified forest babies. It was a nice surprise to see them. I also was surprised, against my will, surprised with a meet and greet with Alex Kingston, who plays River Song in Doctor Who, something that I absolutely love. Max surprised me, and it was really nice. I was crying afterwards because I was so overwhelmed with just joy that I got to meet her, and she was so sweet and so kind, and it was just a great time. But unfortunately, I overdid it with the walking because it's the Orange County Convention Center, which is really, really big, and so I was not able to come next week, and that was come the Sunday after that, so that was a concern of mine because I was in a lot of pain. But yeah, that was my joy.
Hi, we're Roberta and Harvey. We had almost wasn't a joy, but it was a joy. My great-grand twins celebrated their first birthday. And because they live in Texas and we couldn't go to Texas, we were going to Zoom the party, and my internet went off. It never went off. It went off yesterday. We got a very wonderful, patient person tech on the phone. I got my internet back up. We got on in time to see them sing happy birthday and give them each a cake. And it was, so everything worked out fine.
There are a few things in the box, but I will leave it sit here for one more week. So please bring your batteries, light bulbs, small electronics, and I will take them to the dump.
Hi, I'm Ender, and I have a joy that I got to go to MegaCon last week, and it was a very fun experience. I got to meet some of the people from the Clone Wars cast and got to see a conference, I guess, with them. Panel. So that was fun. I do have a concern that my brother is unable to be here to DM, so no D&D.
I have a couple of things to add to joy and concerns. My joy is that I'm back here with you folks today after having been away for a couple of weeks. The surgeon tells me that my surgery went well. I had a retina detach in my left eye and ended up with fairly major surgery in it. There is now a gas bubble holding my retina in place, and so I can't see out of this eye probably for another couple of weeks until that gas bubble dissipates. My concern is my daughter. She was in so much pain this morning. She was crying. I asked her if she wanted me to stay home with her, and she said no. She said, "You go." But she said, "If you come back and I'm still feeling this way, then I'll need to go to the hospital." For those of you that don't know, she has severe chronic back pain, and she just got turned down again by the insurance company for the pain pump. So please keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and send good energy her way. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
I have some from online.
Good.
I just almost missed. I'm so sorry. From Addie. Addie has a joy that her dad is back home from his business trip. And so that's good for Addie. One of our members, this is from Steve Hall, one of our members, Hugo Scala, was traveling in Costa Rica with his wife Pam when he had an unfortunate accident. He was to return via air ambulance and admitted to Advent Health. So please keep Hugo and Pam in your thoughts if you know them. And then there's another one here. That was Addie. And then Happy. In addition to our daughter Caroline, she's so proud. This month, the Amin family, had an opportunity to appreciate modern conveniences. We lost our electricity access to the grid, which involved replacing the cable from house to street. And this weekend, we've been without hot water, and we'll get a new hot water heater tomorrow. And just love modern convenience, and nice to get a reminder how blessed we all are when everything works. So, and thank you, Steve, for letting us know about Hugo.
Thank you for all who shared their joys and concerns this morning. Let us take a moment of silence to lift up those joys and those concerns that have been mentioned, but also let us lift up those joys and concerns that we carry in our hearts as well. Amen. And now I invite James to come up, who's our RE coordinator, and he will share words for all ages to help us to understand who we are as Unitarian Universalists. Thank you, James.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Today, I want to talk about love. Love in English is a very big word for being so small. It encompasses a lot of different things. We can love our siblings and our parents. We can love our spouse and our children. We can love a cat, a tree, a pizza, a song. We can love a stranger on the other side of the world. This morning, I'm going to focus on a specific kind of love. It's the kind of love that we give to others when we're kind, compassionate, and empathetic. When we want what is good for the other person, when we give them the benefit of the doubt, when we see them as fully human, just like we are fully human. Sometimes this kind of love is easy. Sometimes this kind of love is very hard. But this kind of love is important. Our first principle speaks of affirming the inherent worth and dignity of every person. How do we do that? Largely by loving them. Not necessarily the way we love a friend or a member of our family, but in the way I just spoke of. We can be angry at a person and still love them. We can be disappointed in a person and still love them. We can think they do terrible things, can know they have harmed countless people and are still harming them, and we can be determined to work to stop them from doing any more harm while still loving them as a fellow human being. Still wishing for them to get a happy ending too, even if that happy ending requires that they become a much better person than they currently are. This kind of love is very powerful. It acknowledges that we are all of us human, all of us imperfect, all of us capable of better. It means that when we're faced with a choice between vengeance and making things better for everyone, that we choose to make things better. It means that we don't seek to punish people for the sake of punishing them, but only if we reasonably believe that it will lead to greater well-being overall. It means that we don't rejoice in other people's suffering, even if it's tempting. It means that we work to make the world a better place for all, not to hurt those we feel deserve it. It means we can look at a person we dislike the most in the world and say to ourselves, you too are human. You too deserve dignity. You too are worthy, even if I really don't like you. Like I said, it isn't always easy, but it's very good. Thank you.
Thank you, James, for that appropriate message. It's now time for our interlude and offering. We now have the opportunity to show our support for the ministries, various ministries that we have here at U, but also of a nonprofit organization in this region who reaches out to others in times of need. 40% of our offering goes to a different group each quarter. And who are we supporting this time? Floridians Protecting Freedom. So please give generously. And as the baskets are passed, we will sing hymn number 129, Let Love Continue Long. The words are written by Berkeley Moore, and the music is by John Ireland.
Yes, so we can stand and amplify. Oh no, never mind. Okay. We won't stand. Anyway, go ahead.
We would just sing louder. Let love continue long and show to us the way. And if that love be strong, no hurt can have a say. And if that love remain but strong, no heart can ever have a say. If love cannot be found, though common faith prevails, when love does not abound, a common faith will fail. When human love does not abound, a common faith will always fail. If we in love unite, debate can cause no strife, for with this love in sight, disputes enrich our life. For with this bond of human love, this disputes can mean a richer life. May love continue long and lead us on our way. For if that love be strong, no hurt can have a say. For if that love remain but strong, no heart can ever have a say. Thank you. And now it's time for us to sing our children out as they go to their time of education. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. Well, this morning we are pleased to have our own minister, the Reverend Dr. Tracie Barrett, speak to us this morning. In 3 days' time, we celebrate Valentine's Day, and our hearts turn to those we love and the ones we care about. Reverend Dr. Tracie will discuss how love surrounds us and centers us in the work that we are called to do in this world as Unitarian Universalists. Please welcome Reverend Tracie.
So, over the last couple of years, Unitarian Universalists have been studying, discussing, voting, amending, discussing some more, and in June, we'll vote one last time about the rewrite to Article 2 of the UUA bylaws. Now, if you're new to this, Article 2 is where we, as an association of covenanted congregations, state what the purpose is of the association, or the UUA, and how we define who we are. Now, before you panic, this is not a sermon about Article 2 or the wrestling we've done as an association about it. No, today, I only lay that framework so that you can know where this sermon is springing off from. In the second section, after the purpose, the proposed Article 2 says this: as Unitarian Universalists, we covenant, congregation to congregation and through our association, to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. The document then goes on to say that inseparable from one another, these shared values are interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice. And if you want an easy way to remember all that, our fabulous RE people in Laredo have come up with the acronym JETPIGS. Justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, generosity. JETPIG. So expect to see some little jet pigs everywhere. You got to rely on the RE people. They figure it out. I love them. Quote, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. Now that's a powerful statement. Think about it. Love is at the center of these shared values. We do this work, this hard work, not because we have to. We do it because there is something within that burns and harkens back to our universalist roots, where we say no one is condemned. Now, according to Universalists, salvation was an expression of God's love, not some reward for good behavior and saying all the right things. God's love knows no bounds. It's universal, which is how they got their name. And they put the phrase, God is love, everywhere in Universalist churches. And this isn't an easy concept, because let's be really real for a moment. It's hard to lean into that everyone is worthy of salvation, that everyone is worthy of love. And no, James and I did not talk about this beforehand. I love when that happens. Because we all have 1 or 5 people popping into our heads right now and thinking, Reverend Tracie, you obviously don't mean this person. But yeah, that person. Let's talk about that for a moment. And I'll be vulnerable here and share some of my own processing and process around this. I grew up in very traditional Protestant churches and then went to an evangelical Assemblies of God church right out of high school, or in high school. And growing up, I was taught that there were good people and there were bad people, and that good people who said the right things and said the right prayers would get to go to heaven. And I was taught that the people who didn't do the things the way the church said they were supposed to would not go to heaven. Easy, simple. Do good, do bad, get bad, right? Follow these constantly changing lists of what to do and what to believe and how to behave, and you too can get the prize of heaven at the end. Simple, easy. Except that's not what it's about. Scholars have shown that the turn or burn sentiments professed by many Protestant denominations isn't actually part of the original message. Now, we won't be diving down that rabbit hole today, but it's definitely a special interest of mine, and I'd love to chat about it over coffee or any other beverages at any time if you want to have a good theological geek-out session. I will say, however, that it was during my time in the Assemblies of God that I really began to question how selling fire insurance was going to transform people into having real relationships with God or others. Because if all we ever had to do was a quickie mantra and the slate is made clear and we never actually had to deal with any harm that we've caused, how was that going to make the world better? I also struggled with the concept of a God who was supposed to love me, yet apparently hated these other people. That never sat with me. I was apparently a Universalist before I knew what the word was other than heretic. And I was also Unitarian way back then, but I've always been more Universalist than Unitarian, so I'm more of like a 70-30 split on that. After I'd irritated enough of my professors at the Assemblies of God Bible College I attended, I left to wrestle with my questions alone. For me, there was a need to believe in something bigger than me, and yet I needed that something bigger than me to be above the arguments about who was good or bad based on what they believed. And during that time in school, I heard a quote that sadly I no longer have the attribution for that was simple. All truth is God's truth. Now that was the first crack in my belief structures. Because I'd been told that people who believed different than me didn't believe in God and therefore would not be going to heaven. But no one could answer for me the conundrum of how God would create people that would be ultimately punished and condemned. It made no sense to me. Why would that happen? Because I believe deeply in the concept that God is love. And that didn't look like love to me. It's like telling all your children that they can have candy if they are able to recite a complicated equation or a long quote, knowing that you have kids who are neurodivergent and struggle with memorization, or worse, you have littles who can't even speak yet. Would you keep them from getting the candy? Would you reward one of your kids and not the rest? I mean, maybe so, there are those parents. But I wanted to believe that if God was all-knowing, all-loving, and all-powerful, that they would be above that. And I constantly struggle with the idea that there are people who I don't like and whose behavior I find absolutely abhorrent are worthy of agape love. Now, agape love is that transcendent love that is the highest form of love, beyond the love that we have for our family, beyond the love that we have for our friends, beyond the love that we have for those we're in romantic relationships with. Agape is the word used in the early Christian scriptures to define the love that God has for us and that we are to have for one another. You might remember that I preached once that the only commandment Jesus gave in the Gospels is love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Same word for both those words love. It's agape. And I realize that both accepting and living out that kind of love is hard. Accepting because I didn't have that kind of love shown to me in my family. So it was hard to understand why I was and how I could be loved like that. Living out that kind of love because, come on, did y'all watch the news this week? Like, whoo, it's hard to live that love out, isn't it? And yet, that's also part of the Universalist beliefs. They believed that God is love, and we are to work to share that love with our fellow humans. That's the work. Abolition, love. Women's suffrage, love. Anti-racism work, love. Working to reverse climate change, love. Building beloved community, love. This is, I believe, what the Article 2 Study Commission is getting at when they say love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Love is the power that holds us together. Not because we all love one another. I contend sometimes we need to practice that agape love a bit more in our circles. Love holds us together because it is the fire that drives us to this work. Love is at the center of our shared values. Now, I won't go into them all today, but I encourage you to sit with the proposed values and look at them through the lens of love being the center of the work we do. Not family or friend love, agape love. We do this work not to feel superior, but because we see that we need one another to survive. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Covenant. That's the accountable part. Our faith is non-creedal. We don't tell you what to believe. It is, however, covenantal. We covenant to do this work together, to come back to the table and to work it out when we struggle, to hold one another accountable and support one another. So what is this spiritual discipline of love? Now, this will vary for every person, but here's what I do. I use love as my lens to look at the world. When people act out, when people are mean to one another in all the levels that can mean, when people are not living their best selves, I try to ask myself, is there someone who should have shown them love but didn't? Or are they acting out of some other emotion, fear, anxiety, etc.? Or are they struggling with a condition, mental addiction, dangerous coping mechanisms, physical pain? Now, I will admit I can't sometimes find answers to these questions. And none of these questions change what someone has done. I believe in love, yes, and I also believe that justice is important. Love is at the center of who we as Unitarian Universalists are, yes. And it is also the thing that surrounds us and binds us together. When we come back to the table, when we work towards finding ways to balance justice and redemption, when we work to bring about beloved community, it is the love that we have for one another that holds us together. This is the place where you come back to heal your wounds, to share your joys and sorrows, to love, to listen, to learn, and to be loved. And that is powerful. So yes, love is the center of all we do, and it is what surrounds us and holds us together. Lofty aspirations? Sure, probably. It does sound rather pie in the sky hopeful, doesn't it? But nobody said being a Unitarian Universalist was easy. I've even said there are days I miss the knowingness of being in a creedal system that dictated what I believe and how I should act. There was some comfort and security in that. But what was missing was love. Sure, I was told God loved me, unless I screwed up and then I was going to burn for eternity. And that didn't feel like love to me. There was nowhere to go to say, I'm struggling with this, please help me, without being judged and condemned. But here, in this community of people, working together towards a goal of liberty and justice for all, and that means all, not just the people we like, we can hopefully say, I'm struggling with this, please help me. And we are met with, of course, let's talk it through. How can I support your growth? That is agape love. This love that surrounds us and holds us together means that even when it gets hard, even when we're sniping at one another because of stressors in our lives or our own pain or our own fear, we can say, I love you. There's a lovely round that was written by Elizabeth Norton using the meditation written by Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, and it goes like this. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all, and we rest in this love. As we go forth today, remember that there is a love that holds us. There is a love that is our center, and all of our work should come out of. There is a love that holds all of us. Let us rest in this love. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so.
We now extinguish our flame, and please join me with the words, "We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again." Our closing music this morning is hymn number 134, "Our World is One World."
And now you may stand again. That's a little. Our world is one world. What touches one affects us all. Thy seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love we make our bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand or fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many halt, but where our hearts can hear a different call. My closing words this morning come from the 13th century Persian poet Rumi. I prayed for change, so I changed my mind. I prayed for guidance and learned to trust myself. I prayed for happiness and realized I am not my ego. I prayed for peace and learned to accept others unconditionally. Prayed for abundance and realized my doubt kept it out. I prayed for wealth and realized it is my health. I prayed for a miracle and realized I am the miracle. I prayed for a soulmate and realized I am the one. I prayed for love and realized it is always knocking, but I have to allow it in. May we always open our heart to love in all of its different manifestations and share it with a broken and hurting world.
My friends, our time of gathering and worship has now ended, and now our service begins. So go out into the world, be strong and of good courage, hold fast to that which is good, render to no one evil for evil, but go, rejoicing in the power of the creative and loving Spirit. Please join us after the postlude for a time of coffee and fellowship. The postlude will be Over the Rainbow with Alicia Tran. Please remember that our quarterly meeting is following our time of refreshment, so please don't disappear. We need you here for our meeting. Thank you.